It's a 2009 Challenger RT. Kind of a retro 1970 type car, but of course it goes better. Bought it in myself, bought it on the internet. It's amazing what you can buy on the internet these days. Had a guy over there do the registration for me, and he arranged the shipping, and we got it here just in January, so it was an 09 build car, and had the right-hand drive conversion done by a young fella up Kaipara Heads, and had it going since June, so been down around the South Island and done a few thousand miles on it now, and really enjoy it. 5.7 litre, which is about a 350 I guess, but the old 440s, they generated 315 horsepower on a really good day, and these things they do 395, so straight out performance, and with traction control and the different gearboxes and that, you can't compare the two. It goes like the clappers, actually, to tell you the truth. It just absolutely flies. Yeah, no, it's just a whole lot of fun.
And if that wasn't enough fun, this lucky p***'s also got the original 72.
Yeah, that's a 1972 440. It's one of 18 that were produced in 1972. I've had that one for a number of years now, and I guess that was the reason I bought the orange one here, is that the green one is just a huge amount of fun. Both in getting it up to current condition, and yeah, it's a great little driver. Horsepower was all it was. Big, noisy, hell is fun in a straight line. Can't go around corners, can't stop. Seat of your pants type stuff. But this is a 440 big block motor. It's not a Hemi. 4-bolt mains, really big horsepower for their day. 325 horsepower, which in 1972 was just absolutely phenomenal. There's a bit of a resurgence with the new model Mustangs, and there's a new Camaro on the way, and the Challengers, which has given us all a little bit of a lift for a couple of years. Sadly, I don't think that'll last. I think that'll go. Traction is the biggest issue with these, of course. They don't have the ability to, they don't have the traction control side of it. So, or you're just still wheel spinning in second gear, and just so much weight, takes a while to get the momentum. Well, certainly Mopar, I think that kind of brings out the bogan in most of us, I guess. There's Ford guys, there's Chevy guys, and there's Mopar. I just happen to be in the Mopar category. Motor parts. It was the original company that started off doing the parts for Chrysler and Dodge in the early days, and the Mopar part of it's actually just stuck. It just seems to be the thing that everybody, sort of a rallying flag or whatever, but it's the thing that everyone relates to, is just Mopar. Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, I think that's it. I think there's the only three around, yeah.
And thanks to Tony having both his cars there on the day, we were able to get this really cool shot that contrasts the old and the new, and you can see the influence on that 72 model on the 09 Challenger. Well, if Mopar brings out the bogans, there's no bigger bogan than Paul Hammond and his wild Super Street VG Valiant. And here's a slightly more subtle and equally cool road version.
It's a 1971 VG Valiant. It's got a 440 in it that's straight to a 512. Aluminium heads from the States. A little bit of a mild cam in it. This is my first big block. Yeah, wanted to give one a go. Stock upholstery in Newland. I just wanted something a little bit different than the standard job on the upholstery. So I just thought a nice little signature would be nice. Marianne Roper. She spent about 6 months on the body. Just prepping the body, getting it all right for me. It's had the full reboard, the paintwork, Falcon Vixen red colour. What do I like about Mopars? What's not to like? Everything.
Adrian's car didn't actually make it onto the strip, but here's a parting shot of the fastest Mopar on the day. NZV8 magazine, new issue out now. And the cover car is this absolutely stunning big block 1967 Pontiac. Fat bottom girls make the world go round, and this XP Falcon Coupe is certainly doing its part. We all love the early Camaros. Let's see how the 2010 reincarnation stacks up. And we've got all the coverage of what was hot and what was not at the 2009 Speed Show. Way back in the 1980s, a grumpy Scotsman who knew a few things about race cars teamed up with an Australian car manufacturer to create a race team that would dominate the Australian motorsport landscape to this very day and produce some of the coolest and most successful race cars in our history.
It's a VL Walkinshaw Holden, and its history is a very long history. It's the actual car that was developed by Tom Walkinshaw Racing in Europe, and they brought it over here for Bathurst, and it's the car that, as we all know, dropped its rear end at Bathurst. And it also, its major era was when Neil Crompton and Wyn Percy drove it at Bathurst for HRT in 1989. It is one of my favourite cars. They're a very beefy looking car. I also have a Brock Commodore at home as well. I couldn't have this when I was a kid. This is a lovely, lovely car to drive on Sundays. It's a very forgiving car to drive. It lets you know what it's going to do, and you've got plenty of time to stop it from doing it if you don't want it to. It's a very powerful car. It's a brute to drive, you've got to be on it. I just love driving it. There's nothing else I'd rather do. But you can go to a Holden dealer and buy one of these. Win on Sunday, sell on Monday was the theory. So I'm a competitive person, but at the end of the day, we all like to take the cars home straight. They're irreplaceable. We don't want to have a nasty accident. Well, the engine's the 5-litre Holden pushrod style of V8. It develops 500 plus horsepower. It's got a 5-speed Getrag Hollinger gears gearbox in it, and it's got the Harrop 9-inch Ford diff in the rear. It's by the seat of your pants. You feel everything this car does, and you've got to come back in and tell the crew what it's doing. This morning we came back in and we're pushing too much, so we've taken a bit of bar out of the back, see if we can correct that. We'll go out now. We've been called up, and hopefully we've fixed that problem and pick up a few seconds. Mate, it's just an awesome car to drive. Have a look at it. What can I tell you?
Well, what I can tell you is that combination of Tom Walkinshaw and Holden has gone on to win a whole lot of Australian Drivers' Championships, multiple Bathurst titles, give us the HSV road car brand, and launch the career of many a top driver. And all this fun on NZV8 TV has been brought to you by Smiths Group, suppliers of leading automotive brands, and NAC Insurance. Not quite standard? Well, neither are they. Check them out on nac.co.nz. And the answer to our question? The name Hemi refers to the hemispherical shape of the engine's combustion chambers as opposed to the wedge or asymmetric shape that was common on most American pushrod V8s of the time.